Hello and welcome to Porch Time with Bill Benson and Nutmeg TV. And you know, the summer is coming to a close, and you know, eventually I have to put shoes on, but I'll hold off as long as I can. But I've had a lot of fun this season, and on this show I have a friend and songwriter, Moran, who is here with me on my porch. And Kathy, welcome.
Hi, Bill. Thank you so much for having me.
So I accidentally met you probably 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago. I was opening up at 41 Bridge Street. You happened to be in the audience, and I sang, and then you said, hey, and then so we've kind of been following each other since then.
Yeah.
And it's been
across the miles.
Across the miles. And you're from Milford?
Shelton.
Area? Shelton
Okay. Area.
And Don Lowe's from Shelton too, right? No, he's not from Shelton. He's from Sherman. So you've been writing music for a while.
Oh yeah, a number of years now.
Yeah. And when was the last song you wrote? Well, when did you write that?
Well, there's several in process, but I would say the last one I wrote was probably within the past 6-8 months.
Yeah. Do you have a routine that you follow in songwriting, or you just find inspiration and then you write?
I find inspiration and I write, or I'll sometimes, if I find I have a little time to write, I'll try to come up with something. I've also attended songwriting workshops, songwriting camps, so sometimes there's time that's found to do those kinds of things, but things may happen in my life. I may witness something, or I may read a really great story that I have to capture.
Right.
So that's a lot of what my inspiration is. And there's been some changes in my life in the past year, so now I have more time to devote to it. So there'll be more focused songwriting. Right. So I'm really looking forward to having a chance to do that.
Now, we were talking earlier, you've got new music, new CD coming soon, hopefully?
Yep, I have a CD that should be out by the end of the year. We run into a few scheduling conflicts and so forth, but should be out at the end of the year, and the title is going to be When the Rooster Sleeps Late. So.
Okay. So part of the show really is just play as much music as you can. So pick a song and play.
All right. Well, this song's about my grandmother, who lived to be 103 years old.
Wow.
So she came from the old country, from Lithuania, and she came over here, and she lived an amazing life, was a very strong woman, and her name was Emily. Emily came from dust and from across the ocean, from a peaceful land that was gathered up by the big red guns. Emily left her family to be my father's mother. She heard freedom's song calling clear and strong. She was a brave young girl. And they say I have Emily's eyes. Emily, I wish you were still here with me. Emily walked every day to other people's homes, adding love and care as if she lived there, while she neatly pressed their clothes. Emily pieced squares of cloth to make her own house warm, fed her alley cats and an old lame dog, and cut flowers she had grown. And they say I have Emily's eyes. Emily, I wish you were still here with me. She watched 2 sons march off to war. She sent 2 husbands away, and all 4 little girls she bore were laid in early Life was hard and far too long, but I never heard her complain. For through it all, my Emily never lost her faith. Emily returned to dust 1 year ago today. Now she's holding hands with Jesus. It's all she ever prayed for. In my dreams I've seen Emily baking apple pie, or riding wild and free on a bareback horse beneath an azure Baltic sky. They say I have Emily's eyes. Emily, I wish you were still here with me. Oh, Emily, I wish you were still here with me.
Lovely.
Thank you.
So, it's so wonderful to have people like you on my porch, because I write my way, and they're mine, and they are mine, but to hear your lyric and hear your story through that song, it inspires me to try to find that way to write. And I don't know if I ever will, but the great part about it is that and I'd love to collaborate with people, because it helps you grow, it helps you find different places and different things. So and you've been around songwriting and songwriting workshops for a while, right?
Quite a while, yeah. Much more in the last 15 years, but off and on for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite moment from one of those?
Oh boy.
A favorite song from one of those?
Oh, a favorite. Well, yeah, I guess I'll have to change things up from what I was originally going to do, but because you mentioned collaboration, and there's a wonderful singer-songwriter performer named Sloan Wainwright that a lot of people are familiar with, and I had taken a songwriting workshop with her. And she gave us a prompt. Many songwriting workshops, they'll give you a prompt or some sort of an assignment or a challenge or something. And she gave us the prompt called just light. And so I sat there, and you just do a free write, and you clear your mind, and you go on and on and on. And so after going through a bunch of things, I came up with light, morning, if I could be morning, if I could be your morning. The title came out, and I have a wonderful friend named Moran who lived in Philadelphia, and we used to collaborate, and so I would send him lyrics and he would send me melodies. And nice. So this is probably my favorite song that ever came out of a collaboration, a free write, a workshop, a music camp, and everything
as
else.
A songwriter, I have a wonderful collaborator, and she's a person that will say a word or a phrase, and it just kind of goes, and it stays right there until it comes out as a song. And but yeah, to have that gift that someone gives you, and then you can turn it into some art, or you can turn it into some emotion or feeling as well.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and you feed off of each other too. And what's interesting is you can't collaborate with everybody, and yet you can collaborate with people you wouldn't think that you could. And so that's really kind of interesting.
So what's this one called?
Oh, this one's called "If I Could Be Your Morning."
All right. And I'm going to videotape you. Because I can.
If I could be your morning, I'd pour the sun across your face like honey, and its warmth would gently wake you from your long and languid slumber. If I could be your morning now. If I could be your footsteps throughout your day, while you move forward, pursue success and compensation, I'd lighten it with inspiration. If I could set your way, each moment would be rich if only you were mine. I can't help but think about you almost all the time. If I could be a midnight when power and passion have dimmed with firelight, and you have nothing left to offer, I'd hold you in the luxury of dreams. La la la, la la la, la la la. I've never known a love so sweet. To have you here beside me would make my life complete. If I could be your morning, I would pour the sun across your face like honey, and its warmth would gently wake you from your long and languid slumber. If I could only be, if only if I could be your morning now. La la la, la la la, la la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. The great thing about technology is that I can, we have different friends, we have common friends, but I can share you with people who don't know you, and that's one of the great things about this show and about some of the things we get to do individually and together. So
I love that about technology too.
Yeah,
because there's so much wonderful music out there, and the only way you're going to see it or hear it is through shows like this, or through people who share videos with other people and so forth. Because
turning the dial on the standard FM stations, you're not going to find a lot of that stuff.
And you got to get out there live and local and take a chance on people too.
Yeah.
So when there's a local place that's having somebody in, you got to go out there and support them.
And that's one thing that I've tried to tell people a lot. And certainly by bringing people like yourself on the porch, is there's so much wonderful talent in our state, in our community, that it doesn't cost all that much to go out on a Thursday, a Friday, or Saturday, or a Sunday, and just explore a different city, different town, different venue. You know, and it's not a guarantee that you're going to love that person, but you're going to be exposed to an individual or a band or whatever that is just incredible.
Right.
Or
That's how I met you.
Yes,
I went to
and it was
go hear
wonderful.
the people you were opening for, and
yeah.
I found you, and then I
Yeah.
insisted through a friend that we could finally get a chance to get connected.
Yeah, and it's great. So those are sometimes they're accidental. Sometimes you're not gonna love everybody that you go to hear, but there is so much talent, and you know what? Honestly, there's a lot of it that is plucking a guitar on their couch in their living room that comes to an open mic on a Friday or Saturday or Thursday night, and you can hear this person sing 2 songs and go, you know, where you been?
Why are you sitting home on the couch?
Sitting home on the couch?
You got to come out and play.
Yeah.
You know, and you get to know people that way. You get to know people through their music because people write about what they care about, and so that's why nobody else can tell your song, my song, somebody else's song. You know, it's so important that anybody who isn't writing and thinks they would like to write, they really should, because
and I tell
nobody
people
can
all the time that too is
it's
that
wonderful.
Write something, draw something, sing something, if it's yours and you feel it and it just comes out on whatever it comes out on, however it comes out, then you should do that, because it's lethargic, it's therapeutic.
You never know where it's going to lead either. You may start with an idea and you may find yourself suddenly doing research on something and finding things about yourself or other people, or it's wonderful. You explore the human experience, and it's just great.
Do you have a personal I mean, obviously I think everybody's songs are personal to some degree, but do you have a song that you have written over your years that is absolutely the song that tells a story that is really meaningful to you?
Oh gosh, most of them.
Yeah. No, I know.
Some of the best ones haven't been written yet, I hope, and they're coming, but there's just things you discover about yourself, or you discover about other people. So, I'll go back to this one that we started to touch base on before. That's a story about somebody I met, somebody I haven't met, and heroes, and connecting the dots, and how things change, things happen in our lives we don't necessarily expect, or things that you think would be obvious that somebody might be a hero and they're really not, and it's someone else for a different reason. So this song I wrote after having met Tommy Edison, who used to be on the air in Connecticut, who was a blind, legally blind traffic reporter that I got to meet, and we were both Mets fans, and so we started talking about his hero and the reason he went into radio. So this song is kind of a lot of personal feelings about it, because I liked him, I liked Mr. Murphy, and I liked Mets.
Yep.
This is called Bob Murphy and Me. He got the job before I was born. It was 1962. When the New York Metropolitans made their stadium debut. He made his way up to the booth. He slipped his headset on. When they switched on his microphone, he was right where he belonged. And I was born in '63, a baby with no sight. And still I grew to love the game, and I listened every night. The man who called the play-by-play became my hero and my friend. As the years went on, I held the dream that I would be like him. Coast to coast, spring through fall, I heard old Murph describe it all. The balls, the strikes, the steals, the flies, the home runs hit so deep and high. I saw it all through Bob Murphy's eyes. And when I finally got to Shea, I had just turned 10 years old. I asked if Murph had got there yet, and if I could just say hello. I wouldn't take much of his time if they thought it was okay. And they said yes, come on upstairs, it was a magic summer day. Coast to coast, spring through fall, I heard old Murph describe it all. The balls, the strikes, the steals, the flies, the home runs hit so deep and high. I saw it all through Bob Murphy's eyes. He had me sit there in his chair. He placed my hand on the mic. He said, "You can stay here, Tommy, for an inning if you'd like." Then he bought me a hot dog and he shook my hand. He said, "You can become anything you want to be, young man." For 20 years I've held the job on the FM radio, a blind guy doing traffic, helping commuters come and go. And Murph, he's got the greatest view from his booth way up above. You know the heroes in the stadium, they don't all wear caps and gloves. Coast to coast, spring through fall, I heard old Murph describe it all. The balls, the strikes, the steals, the flies, the home runs hit so deep and high. I saw it all. I heard it all. I saw it all through Bob Murphy's eyes. Ooh, Bob Murphy's eyes.
Nice.
Thank you.
So, when did you find your voice? And I ask all singers this because, we all try to be or sound like or whatever it might be, but when did you decide that this is the voice I can sing in?
I found it late. I only found it within the past that I stopped arguing with it. About maybe the past 5 years when I finally decided, no matter how hard I try, I am never going to sound like this person or that person or that person. I'm never going to hit the really high notes and so forth. And had a number of vocal workshops with different instructors and stuff like that. And I finally said, you know what, it's time to just let it go where it's going to go and just work with what I have instead of trying to change it into something that I want.
Yeah, I think it was probably maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, or 8, or last week. I don't remember exactly where I really said to myself, okay, if I go off pitch a little bit, or if I get growly or whatever, it's okay because it's just my voice, and you know, it's gonna be this way, or I'm too old to change.
Well, and you know, you have to bring your authentic self when you're
Yeah.
on stage, because people are going to see if you don't. And it
Yeah.
just makes it that much of a better experience when
Yeah.
the people who are looking at you, they connect with you, and you're giving them what you have, and they want to receive that. And
Yeah.
once you realize that and you get comfortable enough with that to say, okay, you want, and so I'm going to give you me.
Yeah.
You know, one of my greatest instructors, Penny Nichols, used to use the term courage and generosity. So you have to be a little brave to
Right.
be on stage, but you also have to just open
Yeah,
up
yeah,
and
yeah.
not be afraid to give of yourself. And people give back.
Yeah,
So-
they do, absolutely. So as usual, the porch time goes by so quickly, and it makes me sad. The season is coming to a close, the summer season. I'm going to have to put shoes on for the fall, but thank you so much for coming and playing
thank you
and
again
singing.
for having me. This is such a wonderful show, and what a great way for people to discover
Yeah.
many other people who
Yeah.
are in Connecticut. We can
That's
look
awesome.
each other up and find each other.
Absolutely. So you're on Facebook as Kathy Moran.
Yep.
You've got a CD that's coming out maybe
I
by
do.
the end of the year. And play a song to play us out of the porch. And Kathy Moran, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Planes have all come and delivered their cargo, the men who arrive from the mainland below. They tie down the pots and they load up the galleys. Come Saturday's tide, they'll be ready to go. The maverick Cape Caution, the mighty Northwestern, the wizard time bandit Cornelia Marie. A young greenhorn bites off the head of a herring. They pray for deliverance, then set out to sea. It's cold on Alaska, but Alaska it is, where they vie for their fortunes and gamble their souls. The fleet in Dutch Harbor prepares for the season as the men go in search of Bering Sea gold. The captains keep watch as they smoke and drink coffee. They drive the men hard as they load down the hatch, with blue crab and king crab and days without sleeping through an icy cold hell till they offload the catch. It's cold on Alaska, but Alaska it is, where they vie for their fortunes and gamble their souls. The fleet of Dutch Harbor moves on through the season as the men keep their search on for Bering Sea gold. The way they